People don't like being told what to do, so don't tell them. Today, we're going to discuss what you should do instead. Hey there, I'm Esty for Brain Engineer for Entrepreneurs, and I am so excited you are here because here we don't put on a band-aid. We actually solve the core issue, the reason as to why something is a challenge, not just give you another hack or band-aid that will come up in 5 seconds, but actually solve the issue so it is no longer a challenge anymore. If you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. Let's get into it. People don't like being told what to do. Have you ever been on the receiving end of it? People don't like it. They don't like being told what to do, whether it's you to your child, to your partner, to your employee, to your client. People just don't like it. Now, there are many reasons for this. Some people, it's because of defensiveness, but there's a big reason of simply the brain going into passive mode. The brain, you're like just telling you something. My brain is just like shutting down. It's very passive. You're like throwing information at me without actually caring about me, without actually making sure I understood what you're saying, without making sure it's something that I want. You're just like telling me information that I have to do. And I don't want that. Most people don't want that. So what you want to do is instead is do what's called mediation, which is essentially ask a person questions to help them come to the conclusions by themselves. Now, the reason why mediation works so well is because you turn their brain from passive to active. In order for a person to answer your question, they actually have to take in the question, understand the question, and come up with some sort of answer. That brain is firing up instead of it just being, just like another piece of information of what you're telling me to do, right? So when you want to really help someone, instead of telling them what to do, you want to use questions to help them get from point A to point B. Point A is where they are right now. Point A is what they're coming to you for. Point A is what they know and what they understand. And point B is where your questions are going to direct them to. Now, there's something really important. Something really important. The person has to understand that you are doing this for them, that you don't have anything in it for yourself, that it's like you actually care about them. And the reason why you're doing this is to help them, not to just do it because you're trying to manipulate them. That is not going to work. Your mediation won't work, your questions won't work, and it's just not the thing that you want to be doing. Okay, you're doing this because you actually care about the person. So you ask a question, and based on that person's answer, you ask another question. And based on that person's answer, you ask another question. And you're slowly leading them to point B. Now, here's the thing. You may not know what the answer to point B is because it's not your point B, it's their point B. And you are helping them be able to figure it out. I'm going to share with you 5 examples of how you can use mediation, 5 types of scenarios of where mediation works so well. So that way you can get an idea of where you should be asking people questions instead of just telling them. The first one, if a friend comes to ask you for advice. So let's say a friend comes to ask you, they're like, hey, I know you have a business. I want to start a business. What do you think? Do you think I should start a business? Now, instead of you giving your opinion on whether you think this person should start a business or not, you want to help the person come to that conclusion by themselves because this is not about you. This is about them. So you might ask them questions of like, why do you want to start a business? What are you afraid of starting a business? What might happen if the business goes wrong? What are the pros? What are their cons? Based on their answers, you are helping them be able to figure this out. You are asking them questions. You're literally going through the process with them to help them come to the conclusion. Not just like, yeah, I think you should start a business. Entrepreneurs are the ones that make the best, to do the best things in the world. Like, oh yeah, or maybe the opposite. You're like, no, business is so hard. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's better to just get a steady paycheck. It doesn't make a difference what you think. You want to help your friend be able to come to the conclusion by themselves. That's number 1. Another thing, let's say your child comes to you and tells you like, hey, I want to join clubs, but I don't know which clubs to join. or which program or course or whatever. Same thing. It is not what you want, parents. It is not what you want. It is what your child wants. And you continue to ask them questions to help them be able to figure it out themselves. Now, another way with children, it works really well, is instead of telling them to do something, like let's say they are young and you are about to go outside, and instead of telling them to put on a coat, you tell them, you ask them, we're like, hey, we're going outside now. What do you think we should be putting on? Or what do you think we should be doing? Or you're about to eat dinner. It's like, what do we need to do before we eat dinner? Don't tell them to wash their face. Ask them questions to help them be able to get to that conclusion by themselves. Again, you are turning their brains from passive into active. You are actually teaching them to learn. You are actually teaching them to think. You're helping them be able to do it. So that's example number 2. Third example where this comes up is an employee not sure how to handle a task. Give an employee a task, they're not sure what to do. They come to ask you a question. It's true. It's simplest to just go and give the answer by yourself. We'll take the fastest. And I'm not going to say that there's never a time for it. But best to really do is to mediate them, to ask them questions to help them figure it out. Here is a situation where you may, yes, know what the B is because the B is related to you and it is about you because it is your business. But you don't tell them what the B is. You ask them questions to help them get there. What do you think? Why do we do it like this? What would happen if we do it like that? And you help them come to that conclusion. Now, guess what? Through that process, you are teaching your employee the culture of your business, how you think, how you want things in the future. And I'm going to bet that if after a couple of times doing this, they are going to come to you with a lot less questions because now they understand actually what you want from them. And instead of them just being a robot, instead of them just being passive, they actually turn into active human beings who think and can come to conclusions by themselves. So that's example number 3. Number 4, your wife comes to you for advice. Something at work, maybe she want to go on vacation. She's like, I don't know where to go on vacation. Where do you want to go? What should we do? You're like, I don't care. You choose, right? Like, this is for your birthday. Like, it's your thing to decide. But she's like, I'm not sure. Should we do more like a mountains things or more of a beach thing? I don't know. Again, don't tell her what you want. Obviously, unless it's a decision that it's the two of you together. But if it's something about her, then you are asking questions to help her be able to figure this out. Ask her questions to figure out why she would prefer a beach over the mountain or vice versa, and help her come to that conclusion. The B is a decision. The B is not your decision. The B is her decision. Now, you may not know. You don't have to know all your questions. You don't know what she's going to answer. So you don't have to worry about what to say. You can take the time to think. You asked her a question. She gave you an answer. You can take the time to think based on that answer what the next question is going to be. And finally, this is a surprising one and a fun one. And this is like the ultimate of being able to do mediation, which is actually being able to do self-mediation. When you are faced with a challenge, if you can ask yourself questions to be able to figure out what to do in that challenge, you are going to know what to do in any single situation. I'm not saying you have all the answers, but you'll know what to do. And that may mean finding advice from someone. It may mean being able to fire someone. It may mean being able to turn and do something different than you've thought previously. But if you can ask yourself questions to help you come to the conclusions by yourself, challenges will be a whole different ballgame for you. Okay, that is it for today on mediation. Mediation is actually the process that we use at LifeFix University. All our clients. We don't tell answers. We ask questions to help them come to conclusions by themselves. And if it's a skill that you want to develop while improving your 28 thinking skills, I would love to see you in your Entrepreneur Brain Rewired. There's a link right below. Hit on that, fill out the application, and we will see if you're a good fit. Bye for now.